Guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Frankie, ready to deliver your weekly reading for March 29th all the way until April 5th. If you are tuning in again, thank you so much and welcome back. If you are new to my channel and just stumbled upon this video, welcome. I hope you enjoy. If you want to see more videos like this, definitely don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button so you're always in the know of what is going on. All right, so I'm happy to say that this week is a little bit more light. Last week was really depressing and it was pretty hard for me, but so getting into the cards for this week. So for the beginning of the week, we have the Hierophant, the Seven of Cups, and the Ace of Swords. So I also feel like it's kind of interesting how there's been like the same cards showing up. For example, we have Five of Swords again this week too, but we'll see how the story differs from compared to last week and the weeks before. So what I'm seeing for the Hierophant and the Seven of Cups and the Ace of Swords is that I see someone, or as a collective, somebody this week is going to be kind of struggling to figure out a decision that needs to be made, and it's almost like you're getting like multiple like kind of like conflicting advice, like do this, do that, like no, don't do this, don't do that. But the recommendation, the Hierophant is a teacher and a guide and an expert. Back in the day, this kind of is also similar to the Pope. Back in the day, people would go to their religious leadership to help them make decisions and to seek the advice of, you know, higher beings, higher spiritual beings, God, angels, whatever it is that works for you, ancestors. So what these cards are saying is that they're wanting you to seek that expert advice, whoever you feel that expert is, that subject matter expert on this specific decision that you were trying to make, so that you can come out with that mental clarity. And by doing that, that will really help guide you on what it is that you need to do to move forward. That is pretty much the main message for the middle of the week. Pretty straightforward. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. No. Okay. So beginning of the week, lots of decision making. Subject matter experts are going to be your go-to, your mentor, whatever advice it is that you're needing, or if you just feel like there's just like a lot going on and you're just kind of like overwhelmed with everything that you're currently receiving or being exposed to. This week is definitely, these cards are definitely suggesting that you seek that guidance from a counselor as well, a therapist, if you have that, or, you know, just someone that you feel is good talking to and usually will help you figure things out. So for the middle of the week, we have the Ten of Cups, the Page of Cups, and the Four of Swords. The Four of Cups. So the middle of the week is definitely ruled by emotions. The Cups rule our emotions again, and it is very fluid and intuitive. There's two things that I'm seeing here. One is with the Page of Cups, with the Ten of Cups, Page of Cups, and the Four of Swords, is that there is going to be some unexpected news that isn't going to necessarily make you very happy. The Four of Swords, why do I keep saying that? Four of Cups is suggesting that there is somebody here who has what they need, but is not necessarily happy about it, and is being given more, but they're still being very stubborn, not very open to it. They're very closed off because it's not whole, completely what it is that they wanted. However, what the universe is saying is that as of right now, we need to learn how to be more thankful for what it is that we do have, and we need to sort of get out of that lack mindset. So if we were to read these backwards, it's you're given an opportunity that, you know, it might not be very pleasant or very pleasing at this moment, but through the energy of the Page of Cups, you're going to make the most and the best out of what it is that you're given to manifest your best outcome. So keep that in mind for the middle of the week. Just really working with the resources that you have in order to move forward and get what you want, or make the most out of what it is that you have, and just really count your blessings as opposed to being so focused on the things that you don't have. And so that is it for the middle of the week. For the end of the week, again, we have some repeating themes. So we have the Page of Wands, Seven of Wands, and then Five of Swords. So I've noticed that the Five of Swords has been coming up a lot for us, and what that is telling me is that there's more here that he wants to teach us. So I'm really doing my best to like explore and get that message across, because whenever there's a card that you keep seeing, you might be interpreting it a certain way, but the reason that they keep showing up is because it's like, oh, you got it, but that's not totally what I want to tell you. Like, you're grasping it, but you're not fully grasping it. So he keeps showing up time and time again. So to tell me like, hey, no, I'm still here. There's still like a major thing going on. Please look out. So I took a little bit longer to kind of meditate on what that message is going to be. So the first message that came through for the end of the week is conflict. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of you experience some conflicts towards the end of the week, some disagreements. With the Page of Wands, the pages also represent a level of maturity. So I kind of feel like you have to be careful with petty arguments, petty comments, gossip, a lot of that really low vibration immaturity. We're all guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. I think that is why it keeps showing up, because it's like, hey, like, you really need to take your own advice. And when you step into the week, you're still displaying this behavior, still kind of enacting that behavior, and that's okay. Like, we're human, we get frustrated, we need to vent, but these cards are kind of urging us to kind of step out of that and to sort of maneuver things in a more mature way. And also, you know, just being careful what we say in the moment. A lot of times, like, we're very heated and we end up saying things that we regret later on, or we end up saying things where we're actually making the situation a lot worse and harder to recover from, when we could have just been more mature about it and maybe like agreeing to disagree, or you know, if somebody is being petty, or if somebody is displaying that behavior towards you, you don't necessarily need to react. There's been a lot of times where I've been like, okay, you're obviously very upset right now, so how about you take a moment to cool off, and when you're ready to have a mature conversation, not an argument, then definitely hit me back up and we can talk like adults, is kind of a thing that I'm seeing here. Another thing that I'm seeing here is that a message that had came through was, don't let people discourage you on whatever idea that you have, a new project that you want to do, a new subject that you want to study. The Page of Wands definitely represents that new beginning or that, curiosity of those passions that are within us. What is your true passion? And a lot of times, a lot of us have really crazy ideas. Like, my dream job would be to do readings all day long and to own a botanica and oddity shop. And some people could think like, oh my God, like that is so crazy, like you're never gonna do that, like think about it. And but they try to throw like all this logic at you. They try to throw all this like logic at you, and they kind of can be a little bit discouraging. But you know, when we work towards our passions, it's not always going to be easy. And of course, we've heard stories time and time again where they're like, they said I couldn't do it, they said that it couldn't be done, but you know what? I worked hard, I put all that I could into it, I invested, and now I'm living my dream. So definitely this week, if that is you and if that's the energy that you're in, be sure to explore. Surround yourself with support. Surround yourself with people that believe in you, that want to see you succeed in whatever it is that you do. And yes, when it comes to starting a new business or a new adventure, things like that, again, we always need to, of course, seek that advice from our mentors or that subject matter expert. And another message that had came through was that, you're going to be criticized on your plans. You're going to be criticized on your ideas, but we want to make sure that it's coming from a place of elevation. If somebody brings something to me and is like, hey Frankie, what do you think about this? Or hey, can you proofread this? And I'm like, hey, you know what? This would actually sound a lot better or be a lot better if you did this. And it's not coming from a place of jealousy or hostility or anything like that. It's because I really want this person to shine and I want them to be the very best. And if you ask me for my advice, I'm going to give it to you in a constructed way. So just keep in mind, that you might face some challenges there, and you might hear some things that are kind of hard to hear at first, but just know that it's for your benefit and how it is that you're going to use that in order to grow as a person and to grow that idea or that project to see it through, to make sure that it's, as successful as it possibly can. So just be mindful of that constructive feedback. Don't take it personal. Just, how are you going to elevate yourself and grow from it? One thing that was really interesting is when I usually don't do this for the weekly readings, but I did it for this week. I did the bottom of the deck, which is sort of like the overall energy of the reading, like the underlying shadow of the reading. And this is why I love tarot, because you learn new things all the time. So for example, when you're looking at the Page of Wands, you can see how in the back there's 3 mountains that are there. And if you look at the Knight of Wands, you see those same 3 mountains, but almost like in a reversed position, as if he's on the other side of that. So whatever it is that you're working towards, whatever creative idea that you definitely have the power to bring it to fruition. And the Knight of Wands is reinforcing that growth, because again, in the tarot, the court cards represent a level of maturity. So for example, you could say like Page of Wands could represent somebody who has a lot of passion and has a lot of ideas, but because of their maturity, they don't really know how to act on those ideas, or they don't really know how to put that one foot in front of the other and work towards, fulfilling that project or that idea. And the Knight of Wands coming in from the other side of the mountainside is basically saying like, hey, your opportunity for growth is coming. It's on the way. It's on the other side. And then just like I was saying before, with that criticism and with that feedback, that is what's really going to help you step into that energy of the Knight of Wands and eventually the King of Wands, or Queen of Wands, however it is that you want to want to see it. So I thought that was really interesting to see that. That is pretty much it for the beginning of the week as far as the cards go. Now we can kind of get into our affirmations and we'll see how they correlate with the rest of the reading. So our first affirmation is ultimate potential. So this card says, I choose to live a life of my fullest potential. I trust that this will draws me towards experience and people that support my growth and accomplishments. That's literally what I just said earlier. Surrounding yourself with people that support you and your accomplishments. And keep in mind, like, I haven't even read these, like, I swear on my life. Like, I just pull them because it's already here for me to read. I don't really need to interpret them or anything. It's very straightforward. So I just shuffle, I pull them, and then I just lay them out, and then I go here, and then I read this, and then it always, because I love like that element of surprise of how it correlates with things that I've already said. And anyway, so I just love that. And it continues saying, tuning into this frequency, I now reach higher heights than I ever thought possible. Knowing that's an option, why would I have ever turned into anything else? I'm looking at you, smooth jazz and talk radio. There's like a lot of like these little jokes that honestly sometimes I don't get, but stepping into your ultimate potential. So, you know, that's your page of wands, seeking that guidance, making those decisions, receiving that constructive feedback, taking your resources and, you know, doing what you can, being resourceful and making the best out of doing the most with what it is that you have. And also, and all of that leads into that next level of potential and ultimately reaching your full potential. So the next affirmation is no scorekeeping from the love and relationships theme. So what this card says is, I cut ties with past conflicts and make my personal life a clean, shiny slate. Beginning this moment, everything is new. When an old grievance repeats itself in my head, I introduce it to my new head tenets, tolerance and equanimity. Then I give it stupid t-shirts and records back and tell it to leave. So we can kind of see this affirmation in the beginning of the week cards. You know, with the Seven of Cups, this could really represent like our past conflicts, things that have gone wrong. As you can see, like there's multiple things in these cards. There's jewels, there's a castle, there's a dragon, a snake, you know, and it's just, they could represent the good and the bad as well. Taking the good with the bad. Nothing is perfect. But the Ace of Swords could represent that clean slate, that clean, shiny sword, clean, shiny slate that represents that new beginning of moving forward. And also the Ace of Swords also represents that cutting of ties and that cutting through like that thick fog that like clouds our brain to give us that mental clarity in order to move forward. Our last affirmation is my genius. So it's a little cute little Einstein there. So what this card says is, I believe in my inner genius and encourage it to speak up as much as possible. When it seems to be feeling shy, I coax it to contribute ideas by sharing even its tiniest, craziest thoughts out loud. The more validated my genius feels, the more apt it is to participate, and nobody puts my genius in the corner. So again, going back to, you know, what are your crazy ideas? What is your dream? What is your passion? What is it that you really want to share with the world? Don't let, again, like what I was saying before, don't let people shit on your dream. Don't let people shit on you unless they, gosh, this happens to me every time I do readings. Like I get all tongue-tied and like spirit is like talking faster than I can keep up and I'm all blah, 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 blah. So going back to what I was saying about not letting people shit on your dreams unless it's coming from an area of constructive feedback where that person is giving you that constructive feedback because they want to see you grow. They want to see you grow into your full potential. They want you to gain that victory and that success. So that's kind of what that is what I see there in that affirmation. One thing that I forgot to mention is I really hope that all of you are taking care of yourselves, taking care of one another. I know it's still a crazy time, and I hope that through this reading you kind of felt a sense of normalcy for a little bit and really gained that clarity to move forward in your week. If you enjoyed this reading or any of the particular messages really resonated with you, I would love to hear about them in the comments. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you can always stay in the know and see more videos like this. But that is what I have, my darlings. Thank you so much again for tuning in and for supporting me. I am grateful for each and every one of you. Take care of one another. See ya.